Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
We are here, live and in person. We might talk a lot of bull today.
We do that every day.
Pardon me, but this is a bull story.
Oh.
No, we talking about the ranch earlier, and it kind of brought up some things, on the ranch. Elvis had some Santa Gertrudis cows on the ranch, quite a nice little herd. I think like 100 head or so. And, they were pretty animals, they really was. He had one big boy named Duke,
Oh, I remember Duke.
the bull.
Duke.
Like he weighed right at 2,400 something pounds. And they had to have these big round bars around him because, he was a big one.
He was
And,
beautiful.
But believe it or not, he was pretty gentle. You could get over in there with him and pet him and all that kind of stuff. Had some nice horns on him, though. But, like everybody else, I stayed leery of him because that's just something you didn't want to tackle. I only rode him about 6 or 7 times, I think. No, just kidding. When I got on that sucker.
Not for anything.
Pow, straight to the moon,
About like that motorcycle,
Yeah.
did you? Elvis used to like to ride around like he was herding up cattle.
Yeah.
Really, down there we played
We
cowboys and
herded them
Indians.
up, with the horses and
Yeah.
all, and everybody,
Herd them up and
just
Move
kind
'em
of
out.
get them in a small area, just to be doing something. But
the ranch was really some of our best days.
it was
We
a
had
lot of fun at the
had a
ranch. It
lot
really
of fun
was.
on the
We
ranch.
had, I kind of hate that he had to get rid of it, but I can understand why. But
Were we actually the first ones that lived there?
yep,
He bought us
he bought us a house trailer. And it was sitting right over there where the barn is. For any of y'all, when you come in, you got the,
To the left.
house, and you come on in through the
gate.
little fence area around the house at the gate. And when you come through, and all, if you was coming through, you'd be on the left hand side was a big barn, kind of a L-shaped barn.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the end of that barn, he had our house trailer put.
That's because
And that's just right after he
Yeah.
bought it, and he was, he was spending some time down there, and had it hooked up and all, and he would, come around riding horses and all when he come down there. And of course, we stayed down there at that time,
Yeah.
because we actually lived down there.
he later when he bought when he bought the other trailers he bought some of them. Some of them had to buy their own, didn't they? Or did he?
No,
pay
he
down?
bought all of them, but they were all in Elvis's name.
That's right. That's
The
right.
only one it wasn't was mine.
Was ours,
So,
He got everybody one. Then he moved us over on the far side. Everybody on the back side.
backside.
And to the back gate where it
Yeah.
was. And
I told him, I said, look, Elvis, between all these horses and these cows, the crop is just too much.
no, you didn't.
Anyway, he decided to have them all put over there in the back. That
We
way
spent a lot of time.
we
We
had a lot
lived
of-
there for several years on the ranch.
several years.
Well, a few years, not until he
How
sold
many?
it. A few until he sold it. We moved there
We
for
were there.
what, 2
we were
years?
there. No, we weren't even there 2 years.
Really?
About a year and a half.
Oh, okay. Seemed like a lot longer. I
It
guess.
did. It seemed like it was a
It
lot
was,
longer, but it wasn't. It was only like a year and a half.
Yeah, we did everything. We rode horses. When it snowed, like Billy told once before, he'd get that metal boat hooked up to the tractor and pull us around in that metal boat on the snow. But the ranch was actually, it looked like a golf course when he had it. It was groomed. Everything was beautiful. That big lake and the bridge across it, the big old cross up there.
Yeah, the horses and the cows said, "Look, man, what's happened to the
Yeah.
grass around here?" You know.
Yeah, because he had it cut. Earl and Mike cut the grass.
What's the matter, y'all? Don't you realize we eat grass? He didn't have it cut that much.
No, they just kept it down.
Because they had it was sectioned in some sections, and
Yeah,
they let the
Well, like,
horses.
I-
They let the horses out and the cows out, and that really
yeah.
would.
The
They
cows
ate
were
a lot
most
of it.
back over in the back pasture
Well,
most of the
they
time.
were out in
Yeah.
the front too. It depends on what the grass was doing, and they get through eating so much here they move them.
Yeah,
you know, and,
That's right, and let that grow up.
Mhm.
I remember
Mhm.
one day we were out there, and it was you and me and Alan and I think Richard, and we used to ride our horses up and down that fence that faced 301.
Yeah.
And I had a beautiful walking horse named Traveler that Elvis had bought for me, and I thought, and it made me just look like I was really a great rider because of the gait. And I thought, well, I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna show out a little bit and ride up and down here. Well, I got to going on Traveler, and I was really into it. Thought I looked real good, and somebody came by and blew this horn. It sounded like a rooga, and it scared that horse. And he
He off.
stretched out, and I was like, help me. Billy and was it you and Richard or
Me
you and
and
Alan
Richard, I
had to
think.
run me down and catch him. I was freaked out. That was the last time I tried to show out on my horse like I really was great. But that scared me to death.
Marty was always down there, but he just wasn't much on riding horses.
Marty didn't like
But he-
motorcycles or horses.
He usually rode around in this truck or one of the vehicles down there.
Yep, and he'd tell Elvis, Elvis was, he would say, don't buy me one because that's just a waste. That's a waste because I don't ride motorcycles and I don't ride horses. So there's no sense in getting me one. I think everybody else we had them all named. Mine was Travelers. Billy had a Appaloosa named Mohawk.
Mohawk, yeah.
And that was the wildest. Nobody could.
We got out when we first, moved. Everybody was down there, and everybody got horses. Well, he had a pen like thing,
Yeah.
kind of like a little brush, and we went around and we put all the
Horses'
names
names.
on there. He
I
wanted
think
to do that and put all the names on there. And then later had these plates made up for him, Circle G Ranch and the horse's name under it.
He bought them all, those fitted blankets that we put on them in the wintertime. And we'd go around and mend fences. And Elvis would have a little sack of nails and a hammer that we took around. And we'd stop. And does that look like it needs? And he'd get out and hammer on the fence post. We loved it. It was just like, I don't know.
I know
Bonanza.
one time in the afternoon, he had taken his sleeping medication. And of course, when something hit him, he didn't care it. So he got on Sun, and we looked out, and here he come, boy. One side to the other, back and forth, and all that. And I said, what is wrong with him? Well, he rode over there, and I just wanted to come over and say, getting ready to go in, and all, and just was looking around. He had a dang bag of hot dog buns.
Yeah, hamburger buns.
Hamburger buns, yeah. Anyway, he rode off, and the first thing that came to mind, I said, Joe, he looks like Cat Blues right across.
He came over.
I didn't say that to him.
No, he came over to tell us good night and be ready
If
because we had.
anybody's ever seen Cat Blue with,
Yeah.
with Lee Marvin, well, they'll know what I'm talking about. But it just whatever hit him, boy. He just,
Well, he stopped by because he was out that way,
Yeah.
and he stopped by to use the bathroom, because he didn't want to go all the way back to the house,
Yeah.
and he wanted to tell us good night and be ready for the next day because we had big things.
big plans.
Always had.
I
We
always
got
had
big
plans.
things to do tomorrow, big things, and we did. We always did.
But we-
It was big to us anyway.
Yeah.
It was
but
fun.
Like I say, for a little while there, man, it was a great place, and I know he enjoyed it. He really did, and I think the expense got a little too much. Not to go into any details, but he had like 3 places,
Yeah.
Graceland, the ranch.
And he started not staying down there as much, and it was just.
And California, and so he had to give it up. And another reason was finances had changed a little. Let me just come out and say it. That's during the time that Colonel was getting 50% of
Right.
Elvis's salary. So, yeah, things had to change. And
Don't
so that one he had to-
sugarcoat it.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that he had to give up, is a ranch, because the expense was heavy at that time. And,
And he had a lot of guys that were working for him
yeah,
at that
he had
time.
a lot of
He had a big
employees,
group.
so he,
And during that time, he outfitted every one of us with jackets, boots, cowboy hats, chaps. I know you had chaps like his,
Yeah,
black and white
yeah.
chaps. Elvis, when
a
he
little
did,
short leg.
a little light shorter.
I look, I look like a real cowboy.
But when Elvis did something like, say, the ranch, he had to go all the way.
He went
like
out
you had
all
to
the
have
way
the
out.
yeah. He was that way with anything. You had to have the cowboy stuff, the
The works.
the works, the hammer, the nails, the the fence system in but it was like you didn't have to grow up. You could still do what you wanted to, have fun and still be grown up and but still be a kid. And
How long?
I guess that's one thing that
I'm pardon Danielle.
How long did Colonel take 50%?
from then on,
67 on.
yeah, which was unheard
I
of.
mean, that is unheard of.
I don't know. That was
Well,
that
I
was,
don't want to get into all that right now because it's just too long. But
but you know why.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And,
Which
as it is what it is.
it is what it is, and
There ain't no more.
and that's old news. And I mean it.
But like I say, we did really enjoy the ranch.
We did. We loved it.
We for a while there, boy, it was just it was just fun to get down there to it, and
Couldn't wait. Couldn't wait to get.
Yeah.
But
I
you
mean,
know,
gosh, he'd get up and say, "Come on," and hell, we'd jump in his ranchero, and we'd start down
that's
to the
another thing.
ranch.
He bought everybody
Uh,
a ranchero or a truck.
and we'd stop at Dairy Queen, which was about the only thing, in Horn Lake at that time. We'd stop there and get us some of these ice cream sandwiches.
What was that
He
place
loved
called? It was called, Danielle, it's a restaurant now.
it. Dale's.
Dale's.
Yeah.
It used to be a little ice cream stand, and they built a humongous.
And
We'd
as
stop
far as
there.
I know, they shut down the whole thing recently
Really?
on State Line.
We
yeah.
would stop there and get ice cream,
Yeah.
and
But
those
we
were the
had
days.
a great time, boy. We really did, and enjoyed it. All the I think all the guys. I think all of them enjoyed it.
I remember when he first went down to look at the place. We all went with him, and I think they had what, like 1 or 2 bedrooms in the house. It's a
Yeah.
small house,
Small house, yeah.
and we all went in one room, all the guys and their wives and girlfriends, whatever, and we all slept on the
Yeah.
floor. And,
Spent the night there.
yeah,
you know.
spent the night there. Of course, we were in line for the bathroom because they had one bathroom too.
Yeah.
But-
It was either get in line or go outside. You know.
Yeah. We
I
did.
went over to the barn join the horses. No.
It was just fun just to hang out there, though. You could go. There was a little office over at the barn, and we used to go over there and groom the horses and sit in that little office and talk and just everyday
Yeah.
normal things that you couldn't picture Elvis doing, but he did. He loved it.
Had one of them old timey gas tanks that was round
Yeah,
and stood up, you know, and it actually worked. They kept, you know,
Yeah.
kept fueling. And I think mostly kept just the diesel fuel, you know, mostly for the tractor. And,
he bought
That's right.
everybody a horse that fit their personality, and everybody named them. And he gave me Traveler, and actually Mohawk he bought for himself.
well, he was gonna get it for himself,
Yeah.
and then
And
you
you
know,
told him he looked kind of silly on that small of a horse.
yeah, I said, "You sure you want this horse? Because I wanted it."
Billy wanted that. Billy
I
wanted
wanted that. He was, you know, Appalachian. He was a stud
It was a stallion.
stallion.
He was a beautiful
stud.
horse.
Yeah,
Beautiful
he was.
horse.
He was a pretty horse, but he wasn't. He wasn't
But
really
wild.
biggest.
Whew.
But, and he thought about it. And he thought, yeah, no, he's really. He rode him, and he said, no, you can have him.
He said, yeah, he wanted the Palomino. He wanted
Well, he
Sun.
wanted to. Yeah, at that time he never had seen.
No,
Sun.
he hadn't seen Sun yet.
But went around to a lot of places that sold horses, farms, and all, and he finally come across Sun. He knew it as soon as he saw him, and that's one he wanted.
Mm-hmm. He even bought one from Dale Robinson because
Yeah,
it was
Sputnik Star. Dale
Sput Star.
Robinson Ranch,
Well,
yeah.
he bought it in Priscilla, and then Priscilla gave it to me, and he was a little bit high strung, and I don't know who.
Crazy, more like it.
Well,
yeah.
crazy. And anyway, we wound up not
I
keeping.
think I know why
Sput
Dale
Star.
Robinson got rid of it.
Yeah. But we had a
He
great
was
time.
a
doing
nutcase
the
on
horse.
4
Yeah.
legs. But
You should tell the story about.
I can't. I'm just too old.
I'll tell
to
you a
remember.
story. Billy's horse was so high strung, and like I said, his name was Mohawk. And we were out of town. We had to go back to California. Elvis doing a movie, and we were out there. And Billy said, "Just anybody wants to ride him, whatever. I don't really care." So one of Elvis's cousins brought his wife, and they came down to the ranch to see the horses and to ride. And she asked him to give her something. She wanted to ride, and she said, "I want something, spirited."
I want one that's as spirited as you can get.
Yeah.
So
Mike said
I've rode before, and I don't want one of these that just walks around. I want something that's got some spirit to it.
so.
Well,
Mike
that
said,
was a mistake because Earl looked at Mike, and Mike looked at Earl and said,
Mohawk.
I think we got just the one for you. So they saddled up Mohawk. Well, when she got on, she started off walking, and she gigged him, and that was just
Her
not the
first
right
mistake.
thing
That was
to
her
do.
first mistake.
That horse took off, boy, and all you seen was her bouncing all over heck and
Half acre.
half acre, mostly the acre, boy. And he went up over this hill where the lake was.
Lake.
And I mean, he stopped dead still. When he did, she went right over into the pond.
Into the lake.
And Earl,
Excuse me.
Mike said, here she come back, hair all down her head and all that, leading Mohawk back. She wasn't riding no more.
Mike said, "Was she spirited? Was he spirited enough
Mike
for
said, is
you?"
that spirited enough for you? And she didn't find it funny at all.
Well, he was, because if you didn't keep his head tied down, he was wild, like hold his head
Tore
way
his
up.
head back,
He
yeah.
ran into a tree with Billy one time, and
Yeah,
knocked
he did.
Billy and the saddle both off.
Oh, yeah. that's what they call a tie down. He needed it because he was one of those that throw his
We
head
went.
back and you don't see as good.
No,
A horse doesn't with his head all the way back.
Yeah.
And, I found that out real quick. He
Remember the time?
clipped a tree and I went one way, the saddle went off, and the horse went the other. After I caught my breath, I thought about killing him. I really did, But
Remember the time you said
it
let's
was my fault. It wasn't his.
let's take the horses out and we'll ride a little bit. So I got Traveler saddled up and Billy got Mohawk saddled up. He said, I just want you to see the progress I've made with Mohawk.
Well, I did.
And I said, really? He said, yeah, you won't believe how calm he is now. So I thought, okay, I'm still not going to ride him, but we got on the horses and we rode, and Mohawk was acting real good. Billy had tie down on him. And we got up to the lake and we stopped and got off for a minute. And he said, now just watch this. He dropped the reins and he said, stay, just stay. And Billy said, see that? And Billy had this little cigar and he took it out and put it in his mouth. He said, just watch him. He'll stand there till I, get back on him. And he struck the match to light his cigar. And when he did, that horse buck jumped and took off running and ran.
Got a little more than buck
Yeah,
jump.
he did. And
He broke a little wind, didn't he?
he bucked all the way back to the barn. Billy had to ride back double on Traveler. I said, I see he's real calm.
Yeah.
A lot of progress.
Well, I did. He was, I didn't realize he didn't like fire.
Well, it was just a little of the match, and I mean, he went wild.
But that was, like I say, that was a lot of fun times.
It was a great time.
Just thought we'd cover that a little bit again. We talked about it before, but thought we might, just talk about it again, add some things that we remembered to it. And,
I just want to say one thing before we close about that.
God, you gonna say something else?
I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
It's about people. I've got several messages, and Billy has, and Danielle has, about the movie coming out with Tom Hanks, and they were asking about. We didn't even know, but they have somebody supposedly that's playing Billy's character, which we don't know anything about. If they do or don't, but they were asking if Billy did the consulting on that, and so I'm just want to let everybody know. No, we were not even contacted. Billy was not contacted. I don't know how they can do a character and not know how the character was. So when the movie comes out, and it looks like maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. But anyway, he didn't consult on any. They don't know his character.
I won't be in it very much.
No, I'm sure he won't.
Because there's certain areas that they couldn't cover without me. I'm sure. So,
but
anyway,
I just wanted to get that out there.
Pretty sure that there won't be no speaking parts.
Oh, I'm sure not. But anyway, I just wanted to say if he looked
Yeah,
they didn't consult him, so
if I look goofy, well, that's just me.
don't base
Fit
everything
the
on.
part.
Yeah. Hoping it'll be a great movie, but
It could
Don't
be. I
know.
haven't seen it yet. You can't judge a
no.
movie until you see it.
Right.
You don't know.
I'm thinking it was about Colonel,
Yeah,
though. It
yeah,
was,
most-
and Tom Hanks
Probably
is a great
Colonel
actor.
And the guy playing Elvis. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's most of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that, I guess we'd better close this one out and hope you enjoyed.
Baba says
And
bye-bye.
we'll be looking forward to doing
Say
some
goodbye,
more.
bye-bye.
And all as time goes on. And once again, just remember, Elvis
fans matter.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.